Hey, it's Derek. I'm a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps as well as a drill instructor. Today, I'm going to give you 3 leadership styles that you can use today as an introvert in order to help you lead more effectively in your work or organization. Now, the first one is what I like to call let them come to their own conclusions. What do I mean? Before I start, I want to begin by saying that these stories are going to be stuff that came recently from my experience when I was a senior drill instructor in my platoon, but let's get into it. That first one, like I said before, let them come to their own conclusions. Now, there came a time when the platoon was a mess. This happens for every platoon. The platoon is a mess. The guide and the squad leaders think of the guide and squad leaders as people who are like the leaders of the platoon. The guide is essentially the regional director, and the squad leaders are the managers in different locations. So the guys squad leaders are going crazy because the platoon just pretty much, I guess, lost their mind. Not literally, because everything is controlled, but in that aspect of their experience, they lost their mind. So they came to me with problems. So what I did, I wrote down a problem. I said, okay, well, tell me the problems. So I have my whiteboard on me. I wrote down the first problem, problem 1, something, problem 2. And as we got all their problems down, I asked them, which is lead me into my next leadership trait or leadership style, advise, don't tell. I asked them, what would be the best to handle this problem? And then at which point they may or may not ask me, sir, this is what I came to you for. I said, no, that's not how this works. In order for someone to grow as a leader, you want them to figure problems out on their own. You don't want to give them all the it's like how can I explain it? If you have a son, I don't have a son, but this is what I assume. It's like kind of giving your son groceries, right? At one point, when you first start taking groceries in the house, I think this is more of a man thing. But when your son starts taking groceries in the house, you don't want to give him the whole thing of groceries. You want to give him like 1 or 2 bags, and then as time go by, give him like 3 or 4 more bags to hold on as he take him up to the house. So to kind of add on to that, you let them handle problems on their own. You give them answers in the beginning, like not answers, but you kind of lead them towards it. But the end goal is for them to handle it on their own instead of coming to you. Your job, in general, as a leader, should be to have someone else that can replace you and take your job. That should be your job in general. Now, that second one is to advise, but don't tell. Meaning that you could say something like, hey, this is what I would do. But don't tell them how they should do it. Or don't even say that, actually. Just give them an option they can do. So say you have this option. You have option A, option B, option C, and option D. Give them those different options so they can figure out a way in order to best complete or best accomplish that objective or that mission or that problem, see what's going on. The next one is let others figure out. Also, another thing, this one is kind of like something I learned when I was back with my original unit at Miles 29. So when I first got there, I'm not gonna say everything wasn't great because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as organized as I would like. So I developed this thing called battle rhythm for my section, meaning it's a way that we can accomplish things in a manner that's more effective and more organized. So instead of me just kind of coming in and telling them this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna do it, I'll let them tell me what would be the best battle rhythm. Of course, I didn't just take their word. I went and consulted with my higher ups to make sure it was okay according to them. Because yes, trust what they say, but also you gotta verify with your higher ups. Your higher ups to make sure that it's correct and it's allowed to do. So I asked them what would be the best thing to do, because you don't want to take completely ownership. You can, you are essentially if you're a leader, you are in complete ownership. So you'll need to take it and run with it. You can, but you can't. You want to get the opinions of others within your team and see what they think will be best. Because people would rather follow a plan that they made than follow a plan made for others. That's what builds ownership. So essentially, I asked them for the daily battle rhythm, what would be best? They said blah 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 blah. Weekly, what would be best? Blah 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 blah. And monthly, what would be best? Blah blah blah. So after I got that, I put the information on the whiteboard, and I went to my higher ups, which was a massage at the time, and asked them what would be best with this work. And he said what. So I went and instituted that forever. I'm not sure how it is now, but that's what I did. Now, hopefully these tips can help you in the future when you're faced with situations as an introvert in those leadership positions. And hopefully that you can learn something from this and pass it on to others as well as utilize it, to make your time in that position better. But that's all I got. Thank you for listening.